happy day 55 quarantine, everyone. My name is Valerie Butters and welcome to, you ready? Drum roll, please. The show must go on. Yes, I've decided to name my YouTube channel series. It's a show now. I think we're gonna check in once a week into the studio, see what the crazy artist is up to during her self-isolation. Just to let you know, yeah, I might think I'm starting to lose my mind because we are day 55 of quarantine. That is debatable. I probably am, but quite frankly, I spend all my time alone anyhow. So when I decided to do this, I decided that I was going to share with you my process because I believe that it's important for the creatives to provide or to share what we do with you, not to be a total distraction from what's going on in the world right now because we don't want to be an ostrich. But you know, just talk about it a little bit and see how it applies to our life, and be creative and show you how creativity can really be a savior. And if you think that you're stuck, if somehow I inspire you to buy some new paints, which I've been hearing about, awesome. Great, that's what I'm here for. So yeah, I hope that, and if you don't, and you just living vicariously through me, that's fine too. Whatever floats your boat. So, day 55 quarantine for me. I started early, long story, but you know, it is what it is. We're doing good. Yeah. Teaching, reading and writing to grade 1. And I have fantastic news. Like, it makes me want to cry. My son can read. It just started like this week. And I'm sure that it has a lot to do with the fact that he spent all year in school and all of a sudden it's just now starting to click. But I was really concerned that I was gonna screw him up. I was kind of mad with the whole homeschooling thing at first because it's just like I saw this Israeli woman loser noodle on some video that she posted that went viral, and I have to agree with her. It's like now our kids are really gonna learn how stupid we are because holy, the math, grade 1 math, I'm like, actually in fairness, he's doing kind of grade 2 math because he's really good at math. He gets it from his dad, not from me. And the conversations that they have together, I don't even know what they're talking about. It's like they're from a different planet. So I'm just gonna stick with what I know. And I do know how to read and write, so I've been doing a lot of that, and we've been setting up all these Zooms. I've got my mom and dad in Ottawa who are Zooming, reading virtual books on Zoom with him, and it's just crazy. It's amazing. So, anyhow, I'm gonna grab my coffee here, because today was a special day, so I'm treating myself to my second half calf of the day. Yeah. Caffeine sensitive. So, I went hunting. I went hunting for flowers, branches, all sorts of stuff. So I did manage to find some dogwood, which is really beautiful. And I'm just gonna, disclaimer here, I'm not encouraging people to go chop down some dogwood because the rules are very strict, especially if you live in British Columbia. So if you're interested in it, please Google it and make sure that you respect the provincial regulations on acquiring your dogwood. I also found some lilac that wasn't quite ready, so I cut some branches down and I'm going to try to force them open. Every year I go through this, I'm like, can I force lilac open or not? And do you think that this is something that I could remember? But no. And I also got some cherry blossoms. Isn't that pretty? Yes, I'm sorry the rest of Canada, but BC has cherry blossoms. It's not our fault. We just live in an awesome province. Yeah, so I was thinking I was thinking about how my life, how my art is going to be affected by the pandemic. And you know, I scroll through Instagram and I can see other people's artists, and I see a shift happening in some people already, which is pretty impressive because I usually have to live with something for a really long time before it starts influencing me. Like when I moved out here 10 years ago and everybody was like, oh, how is living in the mountains going to affect your art? I'm like, I don't really know. Just let's give it some time and see what happens organically. Look at that cool shadow that's happening behind me. Okay, so for those of you who've never seen any of my videos, I spend a lot of time looking. My camera is on a tripod, my phone is on a tripod, staring at me so I can see me staring at me. What I often do, and behind that I have a mirror. It's not because I'm vain, which maybe I am a little bit, but it's because when I look in a mirror and when I look at my art in a mirror, it forces me to use the other side of my brain. And you can see things more objectively for some reason. And actually, so does taking pictures. Like if you're working on a painting, take pictures all throughout your process, and don't be too hard on yourself, because you know, when you do start doing that, or like a time lapse or something, time lapses are great. You kind of look back on your time lapse and you're like, oh yeah, that's looking good. Nice job. And then you're like, oh no, what are you doing? Stop, oh God, you just destroyed it. And then you're really sad because you messed up like a really nice painting, but you didn't see that it was nice at the time. So yeah, it hurts, it's gonna happen. But if you observe it happening, then you can recognize that maybe there's a certain time in your process that you should just exit stage left. And wow, it's like I heard elephants up there. It could be the dog, it could be my husband, it could be my child, who knows. Anyway, okay, so what are we gonna do? Well, I was thinking about how my subject, which is flowers, for the most part, how I deconstruct them. They have this abstracted quality with big, generous brush strokes and stuff. My paintings are normally quite lush and very full, and my paintings are often bigger than the painting, if that makes any sense at all. So they need walls that have space around the painting so that they can own themselves. So all that being said, I have a lot of flowers together. This pandemic, the coronavirus, COVID-19, is changing our lives dramatically. And they say it's not going to last forever, and I do believe that. I'm a little skeptical about it ending anytime soon, although, you know, I'm cautiously optimistic. Hope for the best, expect the worst. That's this cookie here. So, if I was to apply how we are living our lives right now, how we are in our little bubbles, you know, my bubble is my husband, my son, my 2 cats, and my dog. My cat ate the birds, so we did have birds at one point, but you know, that didn't end well. I don't know how he got the cage open. Very strange, but that's another story. So this is, let's imagine that this is my bubble. So, I don't know, this is Rob. This is me. This is Cash. Maybe Jasper. Maybe this is Jim because he only likes me. Anyways, I'm going to try to conceptualize my work. I'm going to try, as I'm working, as I'm painting, to keep coming back to this initial impression or thought that self-isolation or physical distancing. Initially, when I was thinking about this, I was gonna do just single portraits of flowers, almost like those old botanical drawings that you would see in those old books. but you know, with my kind of twist on it, which I am going to do. But those particular subjects are about yay high out of the ground right now, and it's probably going to take a few weeks to a month depending on the flower, because you know, peonies can be kind of annoying because you really, you know, you think that, oh, it'll be out tomorrow, and it's like 2 weeks from that little ball staring at you, giving you like that stink eye or the side glance or whatever. So I went out hunting today in my car with my big clippers. It's a good idea to use the big clippers because you don't want to be struggling with the little guys. And I found a cherry tree. I found a cherry tree. It's the same cherry tree I hijack every year, and it's next to the lilac bushes that I also hijack every. And I don't feel bad about the lilacs because it's actually good for the lilac bush if you prune it, because it comes back way bushier. This is what I tell myself. This is what helps me get through the day. But the cherry blossoms, you know, like these poor little guys were all going to be cherries, so I'm being nice about that, just taking what I need. I loved this shape because I thought it had so much negative shape, and I'm totally inspired by, where's this dude? Okay, so this guy here, I don't even know how to pronounce this, so I'm just going to show it to you. Chinese master. Love his work. Chao Shou An. My apologies. But I need to give you credit, even though I probably just butchered your name. Just love his gestures, his marks, his generosity with space and line, and look at that. Isn't that interesting? It's beautiful. Look at this. Isn't that cool? It's a bird, but you wouldn't know it at first glance. It's just a nice composition with great marks and stuff. So, all right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work on this 36 by 36. I'm gonna put one of these pages up on my wall so I can, I'll put the thing that has all of them. Girl's best friend, staple gun. Put ya. Where do I want that? Okay, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. All right, first of all, let me do, I'm liking these shadows that are happening. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. I'm looking for no. Yeah. I'm not gonna put it in a vase because, well, I don't think I have to. I'm gonna staple it to the wall. There we go. Outside the box, people. So, I'm gonna staple my Chinese master on the wall too, because he's awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna keep my dogwood there. It's interesting thing about these spring branches is that they're all sort of following this like quirky, nervous lines, which are great for me because I have a nervous mark, which when I went to art school in Montreal, one of my teachers one day said, that thing that you do there, don't ever lose that, because that's what's gonna make you you. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? Because to me, that thing was what I was fighting. I thought it was bad. I was trying to correct it and like refine it, and it turns out it's like my superpower. So don't underestimate your strengths, because sometimes your strengths are just staring you right at the face and you can't see it because you're trying to look all around it, and it's like, hi, I'm your superpower, and you're like, get out of my way, I'm trying to find my superpower. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. So, food for thought. All right. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to do sort of like last time, or maybe a little different. I'm going to mix some paint. Have a sip of coffee, mix some paint. I'm still looking at these shapes. I like that gesture, that shadows, line, self-isolation. Kind of keep those things. And if you like choose like 2 or 3 things, and when you start painting, you get all caught up in the moment and you forget and you get all distracted, and then you don't know what to do anymore because you're off track. Like you didn't even see the fork in the road and you took it and you went the wrong way. So write it on your wall. Shadows. Line. Space. What's the last one? Self-isolation. Or physical distancing. Ta-da! We're gonna have to talk about house rules at some point too, but that's sort of a work in progress in my head. So I will be listing off my house rules for The Show Must Go On. Okay, how am I gonna do this without setting up, making everything crash because I'm charging at the same time? So, house rule number 1. Don't judge me. And I won't judge you. Because possibly house rule number 2, yeah, you're probably wondering if I was wearing pants this time, huh? Creativity is messy business. So, this is my workshop. I'm not going to deny I'm probably due for like a little cleanup here, but it hasn't reached the point yet where I can't handle it. But believe it or not, that does happen. Or even I can't deal with it. So, monochromatic, I think, to start out, because I want to get this feeling. I want ominous, calm, yeah. Meat trays or vegetable trays, whatever. Oh man, the white paint. I left it in my front hallway. I've got enough for now. I'm gonna have to run out for 2 seconds, then so be it. We'll make it happen. Still a fan of that orange color that I discovered the other day. I'm gonna go with that. Give it a little sample. Give me a nice warm background maybe to start. Really wasn't going for pink. So if I want to kill the pink, put the complementary in there. That's green. We'll make it more of a gray. Let's study your color wheel. If you don't know what that means, I'm not like being condescending or anything, because you know a lot of us don't. Joseph Albers is a good colorist that is worth looking up. I'm sure on Amazon you can get lots of books, or if you're in the city and you've got like a local bookstore, support local. I'm just gonna start pushing paint around. My tripod, this is like really high-tech stuff here. Me, my tripod, and my phone. I've been walking around with my tripod for like 7 weeks now, and I'm talking to you guys, talking to my mom, talking to my friend in Montreal, talking to my friends here in Pemberton, you know, with the quarantinis. I think I'm gonna put a dress on my tripod at some point, because like, it just would make this like more like a person. So maybe I need to think of who my tripod character is. And yeah, I'll talk to you about my monologue project too. It's getting there. So this is quite, this is very light, what I have here. I'm going to find some black. Now I'm realizing that I'm getting to that point where I might want to clean up, because it's getting harder and harder to find things. I cannot believe that I found my staple gun that easily. Black. Ah, lid wasn't on again. Dodo. And you remember Crocodile Dundee? That's not a brush. That is not a brush. This is a brush. It's not the best smelling water. If that's the biggest problem I have today, then so be it. Once again, I'm just finding some big general shapes. I'm not committing to anything. Just pushing stuff around to get a feeling of where I think I want things. I put them there, it doesn't feel right to me, so I'll put them somewhere else. And I do like the fact that it's sort of monochromatic, but I can tell you already that I'm kind of struggling in my mind, because I don't know if I want to wear this vest. I don't know if I want to keep it light on light, or oh, I know what the problem is. I've got too many lip glosses in my pockets. I have a problem with, like, I panic bought, people who were panic buying, like, toilet paper and stuff. I panic bought lip gloss, mascara, moisturizer. Yeah, I've got issues. Like, 3 of each. I don't know what I thought, you know, like, is there a mad rush that everybody's going and buying all sorts of, anyhow, back to the track. I have this idea in my head that the negative space, aka the background, maybe should not be light and maybe should be dark, so I have a nice contrast. So, maintaining a fearless attitude. me explore that idea. We have a little shot of Nespresso. I panic bought Nespresso also. As if the whole world was all of a sudden gonna say, we need half calves. Nobody drinks half calves, just me. I don't know what I'm so afraid of. And I'm liking the marks already. Okay. So, kind of like this shape here, this sort of triangle. We'll see. So once again, I do not like to know what my painting is going to look like until it's done. You hear the gear shifting in my head? That's a nice mark. Be generous. Is paint my edges. If you do it right away, then you don't have to think about it later, and then the client doesn't have to frame it right away if they don't want to. Okay, got a big horizontal mark going that way. I want to feel it. And this is all negative space. Okay, not going to neglect up here. You know, in some ways, this might start to look like a Beauvoir black and white. We do not want to get fussy. We are experimenting. So, I did negative. I'm going to switch to, I'm going to switch constantly, like to negative, positive, line. There's like some kind of elbow here. Another one over here. I'm sort of redoing my triangle. And stuff doesn't have to stay. Yeah. Interesting start. Don't think petals. There are no petals going on right now. Don't start painting 1,000 little cherry blossom petals. Get that out of your head. Now is not the time. We're just trying to find a composition. I'm gonna have to let that dry for a few minutes, so I'm gonna be blessed with my presence for a minute or two. Have you been online shopping? Have you been buying paintings? I hope so. Buy paintings. Buy paintings from living artists. Just so you know, I am donating 30% of my sales during the pandemic to the Pemberton Food Bank. Pemberton Food Bank. We are a small community, I think about 3,000, 5,000, include all the farmlands and all that. And well, most of the people who live here work in Whistler, because Whistler's only 25 minutes away. And I don't know if you know this, but all the resorts are shut down. So everybody's, yeah, it's affected us. Like, it's affected everybody. I'm not saying it hasn't affected everybody else, but anyhow, I really want to support my friends and neighbors who are having a more difficult time than others right now. I really feel for some families that are hurting and on so many levels, but I'm gonna do the best I can to help. So 30% of my sales will go to the Pemberton Food Bank. For paintings, if you live like in the States or in Canada, in the States I will send everything rolled, and then you can go to your local framer, which you can do probably easily with social distancing, and get it stretched there. It usually costs about $100 to $200 to get a painting stretched. That means you're taking a loose canvas and you're putting on a wood, not a frame, but mounted on the wood, so it's nice and solid like a drum. In Canada, it's pretty easy for me to send anything up to a 48 by 48 with Canpar or whatever, and it costs about the same at that point as getting it stretched, so that's pretty easy to do. This size of 36 by 36 is super easy to stretch. I also have works on paper, just so you get an idea of sizing. Just make sure my hands aren't too dirty. The painting on the wall is a 36 by 36. This is a work on paper. It's very good paper. Hi. And I want to say 44 by 44, or give or take an inch or two. Canvas is like a 36 by 36 canvas will retail for, I don't know off the top of my head, somewhere around 3,000. This guy, the work on paper, it's a really good deal if you're just starting to collect art, is about, I think I'm selling these for 1,400 Canadian. I'll pay the shipping, and then getting it framed, it's really up to you. You can get decent frames that are relatively inexpensive. Then there's a lot of really good glass out there that's worth it, like anti-glare glass, and you know, it depends on your taste too. You might want some fancy frame, or you just want like a basic frame. So I got about 4 of these works on paper here. And I plan on doing more. I was actually planning on doing one today, but then I found this 36 by 36 in my storage area, and I thought, gee, that's calling my name. Valerie. Yeah, I have been online shopping. I have been putting things in shopping baskets for all sorts of stores and not committing to anything. I don't know if just putting everything in the shopping basket makes me feel like I've owned it for a while, because I feel like really guilty about stuff. Like, is our consumerism part of the problem of why we ended up in this problem? Like, and then you're like, made in Canada or made in America, and going through all these big questions. See, sometimes I get like these emails pop up and my head goes like this because I'm trying to read an email that popped up on my phone. I'll ignore them. I started a shopping basket of bathing suits. Yeah, anybody try that yet? Don't know if that's a good idea. So then I changed my mind and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy bathing suits right now. You know, with all the bread and quarantinis and stuff, I don't even wear jeans because I feel like a stuffed sausage in them, and I don't think I'm like gaining a lot of weight because I'm exercising every day, but why would you wear jeans during a quarantine? Like, I never realized how really uncomfortable they are. So I'm not a big fan of pants at all right now. It's freezing cold outside and I'm wearing a vest and shorts, but I did buy the Birkenstocks. I'm not giving up on life. I just think it's a sensible shoe. And it could look cute with dresses too, right? Yeah. Okay, well, let's take a look at this now. And I'm gonna go get my white paint. Because this painting, to me, is screaming for new white paint. It's pouring rain. I'll be right back. This is where you can edit it, Sarah. Okay, I love my community. Thank you, Sweeta from Small Potatoes, for delivering white paint to my door. That's awesome, eh? You had any door deliveries? Sense of community. And then thank you, Tara, my hairdresser, for dropping off that blue shampoo and dry shampoo. Because I don't have any time to wash my hair? No, it's because it makes my roots maybe not look so dark after a day. Tricky times. Look at that. Nice big pot of white. Dump some in there. Take a... This brush was exposed to the air before I cleaned it once. So it's not as silky smooth as the other ones. But sometimes I like the beat up brushes. They create a bit of a different texture. So don't discard a brush because it's not as pretty anymore. It's a little wet. Yeah, I'm gonna introduce a different color to this burnt orange. What is this? I bet you this is transparent yellow oxide. No, wrong. Nickel azo yellow, which I know can be quite shocking. Doesn't look shocking, but it actually can be shocking. But I like being shocked. Okay. I don't know if you really see that, but. I feel like the light is coming from this side, so I'm just gonna play up my lightest lights, play down my darkest darks. Contaminated. I have to blow dry this. My apologies. until I get enough. I spend half my life with a hair dryer in here. So how much time do you spend on Zoom? The whole house is on Zoom. It's changing the way we talk. It's crazy. My son does not go to school anymore. He has meetings. He's in grade 1 and he has a meeting at 9:30. He's got a meeting at 10. Sometimes he's got a meeting at 1 and then sometimes he's got a meeting at 1:30. What is this gonna do to their brains? Is he gonna, when we go back, he's gonna have a briefcase? Interesting how the terminology is changing. Okay, so I'm gonna put my big pile of white here. I'm gonna get some greens going. Whoa. This brush is special. It's rock hard. I'm sure there's a use for it. I will not throw them away. Problem with that pot, it's out of water. I had another, oh, there we go. Look, it's hiding behind here. Uh-huh. I was wondering where all the bushes went. Jackpot. Okay, got some green. I'm gonna add some of that burnt orange that I've got going on here. It's a nice color, not really what I was going for, but there is a lot of this color in there. So, okay, we've got a problem here. You are in the way. Okay, the impression I'm going for now. Where the branch meets the cluster of flowers, it looks kind of crazy to me. So I'm gonna try to capture that feeling that I get. So I'm a branch. I'm like little ball here. Make a branch coming down here. Cluster. See that? Or was I in the way? I'll do it up here again. The branch coming up here, little knobbies here, knobby there. Whoop, cluster. Got another branch coming out from here. Ooh, looks so elegant. And sweeping here, little knobby. Well, it's starting to change. It's going up here. But there's no cluster. However, it's coming up here. Still looks kind of elegant. A little bit of an arc. Cluster. It's okay to have conversations in your head. Make up little stories. And then this one is even bigger. It just goes straight up and it's like, yeah. Okay, green. This is a great time of the year to start studying your greens. Look out the window. Look at the trees. Here, they're starting to get leaves. Obviously, if we have cherry blossoms. So that first green that you see is like this gentle sort of kiss of a baby green. And then once the leaves start to get some growth, it turns into like this acid green, and then it turns into kind of a green gold, and then a month from now here you'll get these deep greens, and then it changes. Well, it stays the same for a while, and then obviously in August those greens start to lose their saturation and start to get a little brown, unless you're looking at maple trees. So it's a good time of year to study your greens, and you can see how pastel colors are associated with the spring, because it really is that baby, that first little kiss of color that we've been, I mean, that would just be mean. Nature, you know, it's all snowing out, you know, for months and months in Canada, and then we're like, oh, we need color, just bring it on, and then all of a sudden nature would throw these like massive colors at you, and you would be, whoa, okay, Mother Nature, that was like really intense, like dial it down a bit. I think that it happens like this for a reason. It gives us what we're ready to take in visually. Yeah, glad I got that off my chest. Okay, so let's look for some of these foliages down here. I don't normally say foliage or flower. We are pretending like we're aliens and we just landed on the earth. And I found one of these things and I stapled it to the wall, and I'm going to try to paint it so I can bring it back to my alien friends to try to show them what I just found, because by the time I get to my planet it will be dead, so it's useless. I need to paint it, and apparently aliens haven't invented cameras yet, so. Whew. Sometimes I get afraid of stuff, so I'll just go somewhere else. Got a nice cluster of foliage that seems a little bit more dramatic. Then up as we get higher to the light, I think I can add a little variation to this green, make it a little lighter. It's reaching up to the sun, going, bathe me with your vitamin D so I can grow. This stuff over here is a little darker, burnt orange. So you'll find that as you start painting more and more, that you really become smitten with certain colors, and sometimes it'll change, but I highly encourage working with a limited palette, because you really need to learn how to mix colors, and you're not going to learn how to mix colors if you have 14,000 jars of different colors that you can grab at any time but have no idea how to make. Make your own colors. Okay, big sweepy one here. A little bit worried about this space down here. It's a big space. It's a big space, but self-isolation, space, physical distancing. My instinct is to fill it up. My goal is to evolve with this concept that I have, how I'm applying life as we know it right now to my art. Green gold. Now, do you think I would know where that is? Last time I was down here, I found a tube, and oh, as you look at that, it's sitting underneath the dogwoods. And look how good it looks with the dogwoods. The dogwoods are this like really, oh, it's such a beautiful, delicate, but yet strong. I didn't close the lid. Yeah, it's funny. It's got that, well, it's I'm glad it has that Buldois feeling, because I do believe that the Automatistes in Canada were awesome on so many levels. They wrote the Refus Global, they helped get Quebec out of the Duplessis government, which was the Dark Ages. Oh, she glows. So, like I said, I'm being very generous with you guys. I'm giving you a few tips here and there. I normally charge for a 5-day workshop a lot of money for what I am offering you for free. Keep that in mind the next time you have a Zoom call and your background isn't up to par. I mean, people, step up your Zoom game. If you're gonna have art behind you, at least have something nice. And if you've got all your dirty dishes behind you, no, we don't do that. No, you home stage something. You make it look pretty. You buy a painting from somebody like me, and then all your Zoom buds are like, hey, that's a really nice painting. And you're like, yeah, thanks, man. It's a Valerie Butters. She told me to step up my Zoom game, so I did. You'll thank me later. Yeah. Don't bring your phone to the bathroom either. I've seen that mistake a few times. Nobody needs to see you sit on the toilet. Not a good look. Pretty embarrassing. So, moral of the story is, have your computer in a room that has a great big wall behind you, and you can put a beautiful painting or work on paper of mine there. And you can tell the story that, yeah, and 30% of the sales went to the Pemberton Food Bank. So you're gonna look good too. Not just physically good, but you're helping the world with your art. And you can contact me at ValerieButters.com, Instagram handle, ValerieButters. Yeah, I'm shameless. Whatever. I don't want to become a starving artist again. I've been through that already. Pandemics. What can I say? Take a look at it in there. Okay.